So there's more good news for San Diego home sellers. I'm going to jump into a new report and show you where San Diego ranked in this new report for the number or the percentage rather of homes that sold at a loss. And I'm going to tell you, we're pretty darn high on the list. I'm going to get into a few other numbers as well, how much the median capital gain was and what that means for you. And more importantly, going through all this, yeah, while the price that you purchase your home for is super important, the price you sell your home is super important. Obviously, you want it to max it out and sell it for the most amount possible. There's even a more important number, which I'm going to show you, that you need to know if you are thinking about selling your house. The homeowners in San Diego are, out of all 50 metros, the least likely sellers in the country to lose money if they put their house on the market, according to this new study. Now, the study only goes for the past 3 months. So, depending on when people bought their home, anybody who sold within the last 3 months, the big majority of people are still in profit. I'll show you the exact number here in a sec. And I'll also show you who's at the bottom of the list to see if it is an indicator of what might be coming or if it's just different markets, different things are happening in different markets, and let you know what you need to know, especially if you are a homeowner here in San Diego, because the bottom of the list is in California as well. So hopping into the numbers of the report, US metros by area, they're just going down in alphabetical order. But once you put in share of homes sold at a loss, boom, San Diego goes to the top. So only 1.1% of homes sold at a loss in the past 3 months. So it goes from May, June to July 31st. Now compare that to last year, it was sitting only at 0.5%. So we are over double the amount that we were last year, but it's still relatively low. So in the whole report, the average was about 3% the share of homes that did sell at a loss. So we are well below that. But just to give it a little comparison to last year, you can see we're sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the sixth slot at 0.5%. Some of the bigger towns, a lot of Texas in here, mostly Texas in here, was share of homes sold at a loss was super low. Now that's changed a little bit. Now the median loss of homeowners who sold at a loss was $66,500, but the median capital gain, meaning the difference between what you purchased the home for and what you sold the home for, was $400,000. So that's your equity. That is pretty solid right here in San Diego. And that's one of the reasons people purchase homes, obviously for the growth, for that equity, but also locking in basically their rent for the next 30 years. You know what you're going to spend. Where if you're renting a place, yeah, your rent can go up. Depends on what the landlord does. Obviously, home, if you are owning the home, there's more maintenance and stuff. So it does have its pros and cons, but that $400,000 number is pretty darn big. So where do we rank capital gains? Back here, we're sitting in the number 5 spot. Some of these other Northern California cities are sitting, well, California is all in the top 5 right here. You have San Jose, San Francisco, Anaheim, Oakland, and then going to San Diego. But let me show you who's at the bottom of the list. If I flip it here, San Francisco is number 50 on the list. The share of number of homes sold was 12.3%, while they were sitting at 5% last year, which you could see that was pretty high even for last year. The median loss of homeowners who sold at a loss is $100,000. And here's the chart that goes with the report. The red line here is all of the United States. So you can see everybody went up significantly during the 2008 housing crash. We stayed there for quite a while, came down quite a bit. We've stepped down basically every year since. Now, the average for all of the US is 3%. San Diego's like way down here at 1%. But you can see what's happening with San Francisco. While they were super low, even probably right where San Diego was sitting at like 1 to 2%, right in kind of this time frame, they did start to jump up here. Now they're sitting at 12.3%. So is this a trend that's going to continue? Well, I don't think so. I think San Francisco is kind of an outlier in all of this. There's just a lot of going on. A lot of businesses are leaving San Francisco, and San Francisco over the past decade has been kind of in a bubble. Well, we saw it here over the past few years where there was bidding wars. The list price didn't necessarily matter over the past, like 2021, 2022. That's how San Francisco has been for a long time. We have some friends who live up there and just telling us how it kind of worked up there. The list price was basically just a starting point. You go super high from there. Everything was going over. Contingencies are waived, no inspections, no appraisals, all that kind of stuff. While we did see a little bit of that here last year, Right now, the current is we're seeing a more normalized market where the percent above list price isn't aggressively as it was last year, 105%, 110% of the list price. It's sitting right around list price. While the list price has been tracking up a little bit, we're not in that frenzy that we did see in the past few years. So I don't think it's a trend. I think San Francisco in this report is just going to be a one off, but I guess only time will tell. So getting back to the beginning, what number is the most important number when you are selling your house? And it's actually the net. So what are you walking away with? Well, there's a few things. There's some costs obviously involved with selling your house. I'm going to show you what those costs are and some other things to think about. So when you do decide to sell your house, these aren't surprises and you are going to know exactly how much you're going to walk away with when you do sell your home. So here's the scenario we have on the screen right now. You sell your house for $1 million. You bought the house for $500,000, which is important later on. Your current balance, because you had the loan for a few years, is $400,000. So how much are you actually going to walk away with in this scenario? So the first little box, title fees and escrow fees, that's going to be that title fees section right there. Once you get into the other fees section, you have some transfer taxes. You have a few other things. And now a real net sheet will look a little different. So it's depending on your scenario. But in this scenario, I added for miscellaneous and repairs about $2,500. And that's just to show you that during the transaction, sometimes the buyer might ask for a credit for repairs, maybe some termite work to be done. There could be a variety of things that a buyer will potentially ask for during the escrow process. And at the bottom, you have the broker fees or the real estate agent fees. I have it set at 5% total, so 2.5 to the selling side agent and 2.5 to the buying side agent. This is all negotiable, but we're putting it at that 2.5% right now. And so your total cost to you to sell your house is about a little over $59,000. So once you break it all down, what you sell your house for, after all your expenses, after you pay off your loan, that is going to be your net, what you're walking away with. And in this case, it's right around $537,000. And there's also one other thing to take into account, and that's going to be capital gains taxes. So be sure to talk to your tax professional regarding this. But just to keep it simple, anything over, if you're single, over $250,000, and if you are married, over $500,000, anything below that, you do not have to pay capital gains tax. But once again, there's some caveats in there. So talk to your tax professional, make sure you're dialed in and make sure you know what you're going to walk away with. And if you guys need some more information, you're thinking about selling, you got some questions, maybe this perked up a few questions, and you want to pick our brains, all our information is below. I'm Chris Erickson with the Beach Life Group. We got your back when making the move here in San Diego.